No one could have ever predicted that. No way I could. No one could. When you are in your darkest hours, when you feel like you can't keep going, when you feel like there's nothing left in the tank, let me tell you something. There's something around the corner for you. And there's no way you'll ever be able to predict it or plan for it. Kind of replaying all the times that I've shared that story, and I have not put a spotlight on things that I likely have never shared before. This episode's going to be pretty off the cuff. I was just praying in my car and felt inspired to come into my office right now and hit record and just do this and share some of the thoughts that I was having. I was thinking a lot about my journey, my story, my past, just looking to connect all the dots. And obviously one really big part is the viral video, the McDonald's commercial, all of the stuff that happened at that point that just completely changed the trajectory of my life. It's a very pivotal moment for me. And, I was thinking about that and kind of replaying all the times that I've shared that story, and I have not put a spotlight on a couple specific things. These are things that I likely have never shared before, or if I have, it just wasn't very in depth. It was probably just briefly touching on something, but putting a spotlight on really important parts of the story that I think need to be shared. So I'm going to do that right now. Obviously, with that viral video experience and story, a lot of the questions people have are around like how much money I made, how many views it got, what networking happened, what opportunities happened. And that's all been great. It really did launch me into this whole world of business and branding and entrepreneurship and all these things. Self-help, personal development, all that. Something that doesn't get highlighted enough, though, is God's role in that. And the battle, the internal battle, quite literally, that was happening for me at that time, the struggles I was having with my mental health and my mental wellness. For the first time in my life, October 4th, 2015, I was having suicidal ideations and trying to figure out whether or not I wanted to stick around. And I was in a really low, dark place. And the only thing I could think of to do was pray. And I would pray to Heavenly Father. And I want to be clear in saying that these prayers, while I wouldn't encourage praying like this, obviously, these prayers were not your typical prayers. They were kind of angry. I was passionate. I was angry. I was like, what the heck? I am trying, and I'm not getting anything. What do I freaking do? It was that kind of a mood in these prayers. And on October 4th, 2015, I was deep in prayer, and I feel like my mind was pulling me towards like the suicidal ideations and stuff, but it's almost like God interceded and took the wheel for a little bit, took the controls for a little bit and was steering my thoughts to encouragement of sticking around. There's got to be something around the corner, just be on the lookout for answers. I was getting more good thoughts. Like at some point there was that shift in my prayer. And then after the prayer, I had my friend Sean, one of my all-time best friends. He called me and he invited me on a late night McDonald's run with my friends and roommates. And at the time, I'd been saying no to a lot of those kinds of hangout opportunities and stuff. I was just in a depressed state, which, by the way, I will say, wonderful people around me, wonderful friends, and probably none of them had any idea that I was going through anything. That's one of the scariest things about some of these mental concerns, right? Mental wellness concerns is we can be very performative, and we're good at putting on masks, and people might not know that you're struggling, right? And if it's one of those things where a reminder really quick to just check in on people, even if they seem okay, because you never know. You never know. They could be absolutely screaming on the inside, but you wouldn't know it because they look so put together. So check in on everyone. Check in on everyone you love, and even strangers in passing. Give them a smile, give them a hey. Give them a compliment. Give them that extra little nudge they need to stick around and step into their authentic selves, that encouragement. Anyway, that's a little side tangent, but great friends. And people probably didn't know what I was going through on the inside. But in that moment after the prayer, when my friend Sean invited me out to McDonald's to go hang out with my friends and roommates, um, I felt an internal call, a prompting, a thought. The way that I receive promptings is typically in like feelings and thoughts. And I felt prompted and called to say yes and just go. It was like midnight. It was really late at night. And I went with them and they encouraged me to beatbox with the McDonald's cup. Just kind of, I was goofing off and having fun being a good friend, and they were good friends encouraging me to do the things that are my talents, and they were supporting me and having fun. Everyone recorded it, and then looking back, everything's clearer in hindsight, right? Looking back, it's like God directly answered my prayer through my friend Sean. Because as we were leaving the McDonald's, my friend Sean showed me his phone. He held it up to me and he was just like, "Hey man, look, this is the video." And we watched it and he goes, "Do you want it? Do you want to post this?" And I said, "No, absolutely not. It's trash. I'm ugly. I don't like that angle. It's really bad quality. I'm trying to go for that more 1080p 4K." I had this whole vision of like, that was just absolute garbage, dude. I'm going for higher quality. I look bad. That was a bad angle. It's trash. Nobody would want that. I could have done way better. And I said no. And this, I'll just point out again, I believe that that was God through Sean saying, "Hey, Parker, here you go. Here's your answer. This is going to change your life forever. Do you want this?" And I said no. Now, I believe 100% God is a merciful God. He is a loving God. He is a loving Heavenly Father. And He knew. He's all knowing. He knows the plans, right? Like he knew that that was going to happen. And so he had this little plan B in place with my friend Sean. He goes, "All right, well, since you don't want it, I'm going to post it. Do you mind if I post it?" And I was just like, "Whatever, dude, go for it. I don't care." And I will say also, if I'm being 100% honest, at the time I'm like, dude, it is so late at night that video is going to go nowhere. Like it's not going to get views. It felt to me like it was fine if he posted it. But he posted it, and sure enough, the rest is history, right? The rest of the story that we usually talk about a lot with the viral video, the views, the opportunities, everything else that unfolded after that point happened. But I wanted to put a spotlight on these other parts of the story that rarely get talked about, if at all. This might be the first time I've shared some of this. So it's God's role in my life. Let me tell you something. No one could have ever predicted that. No way I could. No one could. Nobody wakes up in the morning thinking, "Gosh, you know what? I can't wait until I go viral with a beatboxing McDonald's cup video." No one aspires for that. No one has that specific of a dream. No one was planning for that. I wasn't, no one could have ever predicted that. It was totally and completely random and something that God had planned in the background that I didn't know was coming. Thus, probably one of the most important lessons I've ever learned that I would share to anyone and everyone. When you are in your darkest hours, when you feel like you can't keep going, When you feel like there's nothing left in the tank, there's no good news around the corner, let me tell you something. There's something around the corner for you, and there's no way you'll ever be able to predict it or plan for it. Our role, our duty is to stay, to show up, to try, even imperfectly. No one's perfect, right? We're called to show up and try to draw closer to God, try to build ourselves, try to step into our callings, all these things, live right, be good people, all these things. We could run with that for a while, but you get the point of it. And God has things planned for us that we are not going to be able to know or plan for or predict. And that was something for me, was that viral video experience. It was quite the answer. It was quite the answer, because obviously, when that went viral, a lot of people thought, oh, he's just going to do beatboxing forever, and clearly not. It's not like I had a YouTube channel go and get big and it was just all exclusive to beatboxing. No, I got launched into a whole public speaking realm and podcasting and motivational and purposeful content and stuff like this right now, because that experience changed me and changed the trajectory of my life forever. It was an extremely pivotal moment for me. And I would just encourage that no matter where you are, no matter how hard you're struggling, you just hang on and trust. Pray and know that something's around the corner, and there's no way you're going to be able to piece everything together until you're looking back in hindsight like I'm doing right now, which is something else I would encourage people to do, is wherever you are in life, and as you're prayerfully looking back to connect dots and pick up breadcrumbs and figure out like all these pivotal moments in your life, you will get a lot of clarity. You will get a lot of direction. You'll learn a lot about yourself. But I just wanted to point out these things and put a spotlight on these parts of the story. God knew what he had planned for me. He was working in the background, and I just wanted to make sure I publicly put that out there, that I am grateful for that experience. I'm grateful for all the blessings that he gives me. And I know, and this is something maybe I'm going to be pulled toward for my podcast and book and different things I have planned, but I know that just as we all have a unique fingerprint, unique set of fingerprints, right? We have a unique voice. We have unique talents, skills, interests. Let me tell you something. You've got your interests planted in you from God for a reason. You're supposed to be interested in those things. You're supposed to learn about it. You're supposed to learn it, master it, teach it. And that's what it is with purpose and calling and all these things, right? People overcomplicate it. And that's been something I've been stuck in for years, over 10 years at least, of trying to figure out my purpose. And it doesn't have to be overcomplicated. You have your interests, talents, voices, all of that for a reason. You're supposed to learn it, master it, teach it to other people, and be a tool in his hands to help other people. And all of it is just a journey of getting ourselves aligned with him and to grow ourselves personally and to help others. And I hope that, this message finds the people it's supposed to. It was really out of left field. I'm telling you, I was in my car praying, thinking, pondering, and I felt pulled to just coming in here, hitting record, doing an episode. And I will tell you, I did one run through before this one, and it just didn't quite feel right. Not because of like being nitpicky with edits or anything, but more just like I felt like I was not being authentic. And in this one, I feel a little bit more authentic and like I'm just sharing what happened, and putting a focus on where the focus needs to be and getting out the right message that needs to get out there. But just to paint the picture of where I'm at with this podcast. It's been a number of months since I've posted anything. So that just goes to show you how incredibly random this is. And I hope that it finds who it's supposed to, and I hope that it leads to whatever it's supposed to. I would just encourage anyone and everyone to stick around, trust God, trust themselves, and know that if you're looking to see if something is from God, if you're praying for answers, just know it's going to be the things that you're drawn to or pulled to, and oftentimes they don't make sense. And it requires you to act in faith and just hope that it all works out. And God's got stuff moving in the background that we're never going to be able to plan for. And the most important thing is for you to just show up and try your best and be a good person and never give up. I know that sounds cheesy, but that's literally what it is. If you're still here listening, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I know this podcast has been a little wonky in messaging and inconsistencies, and I'm just, I offer a very in the trenches perspective because I never have anything figured out. I'm always just showing up, trying my best, and hopefully inspiring people along the way. But much love to you guys. Seriously, I hope you know how much it means to me when you drop in here, you listen, you follow, you like, comment, subscribe, all the things wherever you're seeing these videos or these podcast episodes. And it means the world to me, and I've got some good focuses for the future, and I'm excited to get into them. So yeah, I will see you in the next one.